Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to my channel. As you can see, I look a little crazy. That means it is time for a foundation video. So in today's video, I'm going to be comparing two foundations, the Benefit Hello Happy Soft Blur Foundation and the Benefit Hello Happy Flawless Brightening Foundation. So if you are interested in seeing the differences between these two, then just keep watching. I am currently in the middle of filming an Instagram tutorial, so if you are interested in this look that I'm doing, check out my Instagram. Not sure if it'll be up yet. It's gonna be on there if it's not yet. But you know, I had to stop halfway through so I could film this video. So basically what inspired this video was I filmed a full dedicated review on the Benefit Hello Happy Flawless Brightening Foundation. Last year I purchased the Benefit Hello Happy Soft Blur Foundation. So these are both from the Hello Happy line. They have super cute packaging, but they are different. So I was curious in seeing what the differences are between these two, if you should buy one over the other. I asked if you guys would be interested in seeing a video like that since I only talked about this, so that is why I'm here. And of course I'm genuinely curious about these. So these both have 1 fluid ounce in them and they both are $30, the exact same price. They also both have the same shade range, so only 12 shades, which is not a lot, but from what I can tell from the Ulta website, they do seem to have the same shade names and shade colors. Obviously the packaging of these are very different. I much prefer the packaging of the brightening foundation. It is a frosted glass bottle with a pump. The soft blur foundation, it's really cute and compact. However, naturally you want to shake it, but you really cannot, because I don't know if it's just my foundation, but the product gets everywhere. I think this packaging is terrible. The only way you can shake it is if you take the top off and literally cover the nozzle. Otherwise, the foundation gets everywhere if you do it with this cap. This packaging sucks. This packaging is way better. So obviously very different packaging, prefer this one. So this is supposed to blur your skin and this one is supposed to brighten your skin. Both contain SPF 15. They both claim to be virtually undetectable on the skin. This one says it will even out your skin tone, blur imperfections with soft focus optical blurring spheres. This one is for a brighter, hydrated, flawless looking complexion. This one contains shea extract, which is known to help smooth and protect skin. This one contains photochromatic pigments that instantly adapt to brighten skin in any lighting, and flower acids to help boost radiance. It also contains hyaluronic acid for hydration. And then another big difference, this one claims to have a natural matte finish. This one claims to have a natural satin finish. This one claims to be light to medium coverage. This one just claims to be medium coverage. So this one says it's supposed to be really buildable. This doesn't mention anything about being buildable online. So basically, this is supposed to be brightening with a little bit more coverage, a little bit more satiny of a finish on the skin. This one's more natural matte, lighter coverage. So I do actually have these in different shades. I bought the Hello Happy Soft Blur Foundation in the shade 3 and the Flawless Brightening Foundation in number 4, and I do want to show you what I noticed. So this is actually the Soft Blur Foundation in number 3 and this one is the Brightening Foundation in number 4. They're almost the same shade but a different tone. What is surprising to me is the number 4 shade is a little bit more yellowy and I would argue a half shade lighter, whereas the number 3 is a little bit more neutral. So that's very interesting. Hopefully they don't look too different on my face. Alright, enough jibber jabbering. Let's get this show on the road. So I'm going to start off by priming my face with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. Going to try and keep both as even as possible. Since I've been using this foundation more recently, I'm going to put it on first because I remember exactly what it looks like. So I'm going to do like 1 pump and I'm going to use this side. Just apply it. Okay, so that's definitely a nice medium coverage. Let's try the Soft Blur Foundation now. Now, the consistency of the Soft Blur is much more liquidy. Let me show you. So it's kind of difficult to see, but this one is drooping down. And you'll notice this right away. If you have both, the Soft Blur is going to be a lot more liquidy as compared to the Brightening Foundation. I honestly prefer it a little thicker just because it sounds messy. And yeah, this is strange. The number 3 in the Soft Blur is like darker. So immediately what I can tell is that the blurring one is a lot more natural. It definitely requires some coverage to be built up to match the other side. So if you like a little bit more full coverage, you might want to go with the brightening foundation. So I'm going to give these two foundations a couple minutes to kind of dry and settle down, and then I will really compare the different sides. Okay, so I've given the foundation a couple of minutes to dry, oxidize, kind of settle into the skin. Now, definitely the brightening foundation, it looks a little brighter on my skin, and I think that has to do with the shade. I think the shade is just generally brighter with that little bit of that yellow undertone, brightened the face a little bit more, which is very interesting. There's not a noticeable difference in the shades. Since I'm looking at it, yes, this side does look brighter because I think it was just a brighter shade. Interestingly enough, the blurring foundation looks a little bit more dewy compared to the brightening foundation. The brightening foundation claimed to be natural satin. The blur claimed to be natural matte, so I was expecting this side to be more matte, but that's not the case. I think this side looks more skin-like, if you ask me, whereas this one definitely kind of has more so of a natural matte finish compared to this side. This side definitely has more coverage, and this foundation definitely is a lot more blurring. The brightening foundation I think is a little bit quicker to cake up and emphasize dryness on the skin, whereas this kind of sunk into the skin. It also is more smooth and less cakey on the skin because it's so much more thin. So I'm gonna have to say right now, upon initial application, the soft blur side I prefer, but I'm gonna go ahead, put on the rest of my face makeup. I'm gonna do the same on both sides. The only difference are the actual foundations, and I will be right back. Okay, so I finished putting everything on. If you're curious about what I'm wearing, of course it will be down in the description box. Also, the eye tutorial itself is going to be on Instagram. So now that I've powdered everything, I definitely think this foundation, the brightening foundation, is a little bit thicker, and that's not a bad thing at all because that thickness almost plumps the skin in a healthy looking way. Whereas this foundation, it's so thin that it sinks into the skin. So it definitely, this side looks more skin-like, but this side looks a little bit more perfected, which is also nice. So it kind of just depends what vibe you're going for. I think definitely for more everyday wear, I'm preferring the soft blur side right now, but I love the brightening foundation as well. This side also looks very good. So both sides are looking good, but there are definitely some noticeable differences between the two foundations. It's kind of late, it's 5 o'clock, so I don't think I'm gonna do like a whole 8-hour wear test, but I am going to give it a few hours and just let you know how the foundations are wearing, so I will check in with you soon. Hey guys, so 'tis the end of the day. All in all, I've worn this foundation, or I guess these foundations, for about 6 hours. I was hoping to make it to 8, but it's just so late. I gotta get to bed. I gotta take this off of my face. But I do have some interesting observations to share with you guys. So just as a reminder, soft blur's on this side, flawless brightening is on this side. So I'm gonna let you take a close look. Which side do you think looks better? Comment down below. Okay, so the first major thing I want to point out is the blur side on my forehead looks noticeably much better than this brightening side. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you can kind of see some lineage going on over there. I got a big forehead. There's a lot of room for lines. But the lines are just way less noticeable on the blurring foundation. Now, as far as smile lines go, they both have marks, but they're very small. So Benefit does a really good job of making foundations that don't really sink into these lines. I would say the blur side is a little bit more noticeable, but that's me being extra picky. Like, they look fine. I think that the brightness side looks a little bit more makeup-y, but honestly, I know this is a weird thing to say, but I feel like this is gonna hold up a little bit better over time if I were to do like some more strenuous activity, just because this makeup is so thin on my face. Like, the oils and stuff have something to grab onto here that almost makes your face look a little bit more moisturized, which isn't a bad thing. With the blur foundation, there's not much room to get super oily in my opinion. I'm noticing both sides about about the same amount of pores are showing. There's not any difference in that. But overall, I think that the blur side does look a little bit better than the brightening foundation side. But I think that's just the nature of the finish of these foundations. Because this one is lighter with less coverage, it looks a little less makeup-y. And this doesn't even look that makeup-y. Both of these are really great on my dry skin, which is the most important thing to me. My face looks good on both sides. I'm just saying, if I had to pick, I think the soft blur is better. But if I want more coverage, I love the Flawless Brightening Foundation still. So I love both of these foundations, and it was very interesting to test both side by side because I knew I liked this and I knew I liked this, but what exactly was different about these? So in my opinion, the biggest differences in these foundations are this one is a bit lighter, a bit less coverage, so it's going to look more natural on the skin. This one gives you a little bit of more coverage. I said in the beginning, this one I noticed a little bit more of a dewy finish. Once I powdered and everything, they both kind of looked the same. So it just depends what you're looking for, really. I think they're both good. That was a fun little test to do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think below. Which one do you think looks better? Which one are you going to pick out? I think Benefit did a good job. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye guys, have a good one.